Hello, this is Kate, and this is my second sub-game of the season for the competitive league that I play in. This is my second game of the night, as my own team played just before this. In that game, it was my team in 6th place versus the 2nd place team. And in this game, I'm playing for Gray, who is in 5th place, and they are playing against the 1st place team. So it's definitely a bit of a tough night for me tonight. And Gray has gone up 1-0. Nice easy one to start off. That glove save definitely felt nice in the moment. This was just so lucky, and it's a good example of why you need to be very aware of where you're placing your stick at all times, because they just were able to deflect that puck off my stick and almost squeeze it in the far post. And if I'd had it in a better place, that wouldn't have been possible. After this save, the D said to me, "Good job, you're really saving us." And I told her, they can shoot from the blue line all day if they want. I was really happy with this blocker save. A lot of times I find I don't get a good sort of punch on a blocker save, and so it ends up doing stupid things like rolling up over my arm or just sort of dropping a couple feet away. So when I can get a nice solid blocker save, it always feels really good. I very rarely shove people out of my crease, but I do have my limits in terms of people taking up my space. I believe this deflect went off my paddle before going wide. I often ask, "Do you want it?" And usually the answer is no. I'm honestly surprised I just casually scooped that puck up. Usually when I get a bad push, I would panic a little bit. I was totally calm about that one for some reason. This puck got whacked at so many times, I didn't even realize it finally ended up in my glove. So this is why the defenseman laughs afterwards, because I went, "Oh, it's in there." I actually thought I had squashed it down with the back of my glove against the ice. And that is the end of the first period. And that's another goal for the Gray team. It's nice that I got over and sealed the gaps quickly enough. I'm not going to feel too bad about this goal, because in addition to going off the far post and in, it was also a screen and a deflect. So the moment I finally saw where the puck was going, it suddenly wasn't going there anymore. I almost got it anyway. By this point, I have played 5 periods of hockey against the 2 top teams in the league, tons of shots, and I am very tired. And so I tried to start convincing myself that I was still 19 and had all the energy in the world. It wasn't super effective, but I did try and convince myself of that, just so I could keep going. And in case you're like, "Oh, you've not done that much." And there is often a lot of zone time in these games that I cut out because there aren't any shots, but oh man. Glad I could reach the post there from that awkward position. With more energy, that could have looked a lot better, but it did at least get the job done. Getting my stick on those deflects, which is nice. Mild panic. This one I could feel moving around my equipment a bit weirdly, and I was not 100% sure I managed to get the whole thing. Luckily, I did. It's definitely a close call. And that is the end of the second period. This is one time when a defensive puck escort almost went horribly wrong. It's so hard to get a hold of the puck when it's squirting along the back of the net like that. By this point in the game, I have given up trying to convince myself I have all the energy in the world and pretty much just thinking, oh, please no, every single time the yellow got the puck. This goal was very much like the first goal. It was a screen, a really, really nice tip. In the case of this one, though, I could have still had this one if I'd have just, had my stick on the ice covering my 5-hole where it should have been. This is a rebound I definitely should have contained. Unfortunately for me, it started to get away from me, and in my attempt to get a hold of it, I also whacked it away with my stick. And like the first two goals in this game so far, this goal was also a screen. The most effective screen because I didn't at any point even see a tiny flutter of the puck. I only knew it was in because I heard it hit the metal at the back. I did attempt to get my view from one side of the screen to the other, but she never made it to the other side of the screen before shooting the puck, and I just didn't have a chance, especially when it's placed that perfectly. I'm at least cutting down the angles while not being screened. And a last-second toe save while desperately trying to catch my breath. I don't like that I'm continuing to face up ice on this one. I would definitely like to be turning and being more square to the puck. It would have made the save a lot easier and not like an awkward sort of shoulder save like I ended up having to make. This is definitely a goal I should not have let in. My only excuse is that I was completely exhausted at the time the shot came, and I was taken by surprise by it. I was screened at the last moment as the skater skated in front of me, but I wasn't standing in a ready position. I didn't have my stick on the ice. And I think that in a situation where I'm not exhausted, I always make this save. And ultimately, it didn't matter for the win or loss, but, still disappointing when something like that happens. This is such a weird looking save, the way it just sort of collapsed. And I think what happened is that neither of my pads rotated. And so I could not stop my forward momentum at all because they just sort of slid out from under me. And so I just reached out as far as I could to cover the puck so I didn't have to get up again. And I could just take my time. Cheeky glance at the clock as the puck goes by. You can just see the, oh God, I have to get up again in my body language at this point. I was really happy with that paddle save. And that is the end of the game and the doubleheader. Thank goodness. I survived till the end just barely. I think that I played really well up until the point when I completely ran out of gas in the tank there. I always feel a little bit bad when I get a loss when I'm subbing for another team. I feel like extra pressure to do well. But, at the same time, like, all of these goals were screenshots and tips, and I didn't really have a lot of chance on them, apart from the last one. But outside of those situations, I think I played a pretty good game. I was pretty good at covering angles, and I did face quite a few shots in this one, so it was certainly a nice chance to get out and get some practice in, that's for sure. I'd always rather have a game like this than one where I'm just standing around and only see 5 shots, Anyways, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.